Hey guys, it's Julia, and for today's video I'm going to be recommending to you guys my favorite trilogies. Before I get asked questions and stuff, the Hunger Games and Divergent stuff aren't in here. One, never finished the Divergent series, which I know I can't be the only one out there because I've read a lot of like videos where it's like the most popular book series I haven't read yet or something like that, and people are always like, oh, I haven't read Divergent, or I haven't read the Hunger Games and stuff, or even Harry Potter. So my point is those are not going to be in here because I haven't read them. Personally, I read Divergent, but I never read Insurgent or Legion, and the Hunger Games, I've never gotten around to that one. So yeah, let's just get into my personal recommendations. I really hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope the lighting is okay. I know it's kind of weird, but yeah, let's just get into this, and hope you like the new spot. I'm using it sometimes, not all the time, but I'm using it sometimes, so we're going with it. These first couple books that I'm going to be recommending to you guys was originally a trilogy, but now is being called a series. And that is the Selection trilogy or series. And basically these first three books, we follow a girl named America Singer, and she gets raffled in to compete in the Selection. And the Selection, this is also a dystopian world, which I should mention, but the Selection is where the prince is looking for his bride, so he kind of raffles in these girls from different casts, and like cast 1 is like the royal family, and then like 8 and stuff is like kind of the homeless people and stuff. And she gets raffled in, and it's kind of like The Bachelor at that point, to see he like eliminates people and you get to see who's gonna be his bride, and it's really a really fun ride. It's basically The Bachelor with princes and things, and it's really lovely. I really do recommend it. A lot of people complain about America. Honestly, anyone could just put up with America. I put up with her. If you're aware that she may get annoying sometimes, then it's not gonna be that bad. Plus, come on, you've all read a book where a main character is a little on the irritating side, but it's fine. Plus Maxon is worth it. But there's also The Heir, which is out, which is like the daughter of 2 people, so it's like now a series, but the first 3 books we follow America, and I count those as a trilogy, so this one. The next trilogy I recommend is not one that is very popular on BookTube or that I don't hear about like ever, and that is the Visions trilogy by Lisa McMahon. This trilogy, we follow a girl named Jules, and she starts to experience these visions, and she starts, every time she looks at a billboard or a screen or anything like a mirror, a screen, glass, anything like that, she keeps seeing this vision over and over again. It's like people die, blah blah blah, and basically she tries to like go back to the visions and like look at clues and stuff to see when they're gonna happen, and it's really interesting. Like, this is what got me into YA like a lot. And like, I used to read Nicholas Sparks and Stephen King and stuff like that, but this pulled me into like the YA realm of things, and I love this. The writing is really simple, so I will say that it's really simple. Plus I really loved all these characters. Like, these were like a pretty good mix of characters that I really ended up enjoying in this trilogy, and like I really liked the dude in this trilogy, so yeah. And I liked the main character, and the side characters were all cool, and I just overall really enjoyed this trilogy. The next one I'm going to be talking about is a pretty popular trilogy, and that is the Shatter Me trilogy by Tanara Mafi. In this book we follow a girl named Juliet, and she is locked up in kind of like not a mental hospital, what is it called? At this point she is locked up, and this is also in a dystopian world, so the reestablishment is kind of like the government of things, and they are trying to use her as a weapon because her touch can kill you. If she touches you, you will die. Her touch is lethal, whatever. And this trilogy is really well written, really so much goes on. I loved this trilogy. This was one trilogy that I would be sitting in the halls of my school reading, oddly enough, and I would be like, oh my gosh, so good, so good. And Warner, if you've read the first book, you hate Warner, but if you've read the rest, you love him. So highly recommend this trilogy. Juliet's character development is outstanding, and I just really loved this trilogy overall. The next trilogy I have for you guys is the Dark Elements trilogy by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This trilogy was actually recently just completed. The last book, which is Every Last Breath, recently came out, and finally it's completed. But this book we follow Layla, and she is half gargoyle and half demon, and she's a crossbreed between the two, and she lives with the wardens who are gargoyles who fight demons. So cool. And the first book is White Hot Kiss, and basically since she is a crossbreed, what demons can do is they can suck out souls, so that's what she can do. If she kisses anybody or anything like that, then she will suck out their soul, and that becomes a problem when if she's trying to date anybody, and things happen from there. And it's so good, and the covers look like there's some, they look new adult covers, and like weird titles like Why Not Kiss, Don't Pull Touch, Every Last Breath. The titles really don't do these books justice at all, or the covers. They're actually so badass and fun. And Roth, man. Roth, fabulous character. Layla was a cool character. The side characters are cool, really interesting. Recommend it very much. The next trilogy I have to recommend is a very, very popular trilogy. Maybe you could guess it. It is the Clockwork Angel trilogy, or the more known as the Infernal Devices trilogy. And this is a Shadowhunter Chronicle. These are some of the Shadowhunter Chronicle novels. So if you know of the Mortal Instruments series, this is kind of like the ancestors of them back in London, and like long before those. And basically, we are in London. It is really cool being in London, like the olden times with the carriages and the accents and it's wonderful. And we follow Jem, Will, and Tessa is a kind of like a shapeshifter, and she is kidnapped by these two people called the Dark Sisters, and they take her in and make her kind of shift and stuff. And basically, she gets saved by the London Institute, and those two boys, Will and Jem, they kind of, if you know about this trilogy, there's a love triangle in there. But it is fabulous. Best love triangle I've ever seen, and fabulous. These books will kill you emotionally. Like, look at all those quotes. Look at them. So I realized I didn't show you every cover for all these, but first book is Clockwork Angel. Second work is Clockwork Prince, and Jem. And Will. Don't get me wrong. And Clockwork Princess, which this one will kill you the most. It's also the biggest. Will kill you the most. It will. Next, I'd like to talk about something that is not actually a trilogy. It is a duology, but we don't know if there's going to be a third book. At least at this point, I don't think we know anything about the third book, but I still highly recommend this, so I gotta put this in here. Plus, there's not really that many contemporary, like there's paranormal and a lot of it's fantasy, but there's not contemporary, so this has to be in there. And that is the To All the Boys I Loved Before duology. At this point, I don't think we're getting a third book, but great duology. This is just a really light and fluffy duology, which if you're in the mood for something fun and light, I highly recommend these. These are just so fluffy, and they will make you feel all fuzzy inside. Writes love letters to guys she likes, and then she kind of, you know, to get over them fast and like express all her feelings and whatever. Then she stores it away, and then one day these letters get sent out, and it's about all the 5 guys getting the letters and her experience with that. And also the family aspect is so cool with her 2 sisters and her dad, and it's just such a nice thing. And I really love Peter in these books, and if you've read them, you know Peter is adorable. And yes, and plus Laura Jean was such a cute character. Like, she's always like bacon, and it's like the typical like girly girl kind of thing, but I love these books. They're great. The last thing I would like to recommend to you guys is actually not a completed trilogy. The third book still has to come out, so I'm kind of cheating. But first 2 books, fabulous. Can't wait for the last one. Can't wait. And that is, of course, I have one in hardcover, one in paperback, but that is the Bill Hodges trilogy by Stephen King. So basically, in the first book, Mr. Mercedes, we are following 2 perspectives. We are following Bill, who is the detective, and we are following the killer, who is Brady. You know he's the killer, you're in his head. But basically, Bill is a retired detective, and he goes out of retirement because he gets a letter from Brady, who is the Mercedes killer. And basically, this case, he stole a Mercedes and he crashed into a crowd of people and killed a lot of them, and it was a huge case and it was never solved. And now he is kind of taunting Bill with a letter and trying to get him to, you know, piss him off, obviously. And basically Bill goes out of retirement to try to solve this case, and he gets help from 2 people, and it is awesome. The trio of these guys are so awesome. I love the first book, so good. And then the second book is Finders Keepers, where we follow the same trio but working a different case. And basically there is still some characters in this book that are in this book, but that's I don't want to say who, spoilers and things, but it still is a continuation in a way, but at the same time it's kind of like a companion. It's interesting, but I really love these books. They were such a cool ride. Both of them are so cool. Highly recommend. They are adult. I should have said that earlier. They are adult, so swearing, mature content. Well, not, yeah, mature content and things like that, so I should mention that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys very soon with a new video. I think soon I'm going to be filming some other recommendations videos. I don't think I've read enough series to do a series recommendation video, but I think, because I've read that's a pretty decent amount of Trilogy since I started avidly reading in December, so good for me. I think I might do a, not standalone recommendation, but like a contemporary recommendations video or something like that, or maybe fantasy. I haven't really read that much fantasy. We'll see, but tell me what you guys want to see down below, and I'll see you all very, very soon with a new video, and bye.